We are live.
Wonderful. Welcome, all violin players and some violists, to NS Design's Connect 2021 Roundtable. We got Ned Steinberger here and a bunch of wonderful violinists. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves, and I'm going to point out to you and direct you to who's introducing themselves. And if you could tell us your name, who you play with, or any institutions you might teach with, and what you're currently excited about, what's on your mind lately, and just get the icebreaker here. Jonas, why don't you head us off?
My name is Jonas Peterson. I'm known for, well, I'm 24 violin, so my job is every day to record a whole orchestra all by myself. I'm also the co-founder of Symphonic Planet. We travel around the world to record interesting sound phenomena and musicians that we find everywhere. We bring our instruments, we make music with them. I come more from the producing engineering side. I used to be a violinist when I was young, and then I stopped, and now I am again. So I'm really glad of having an NS violin here again, and yeah, feeling like a violinist again.
Enjoy the link in my Facebook if you want to see it.
Sorry, Ken, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm Ken Ford. They call me the King of Strings, and I travel. Well, I used to doing jazz festivals, cruises, concerts. I got about 5 CDs out. This is my baby. This is my other baby. I'm gonna turn in and get my other new baby. So I love NS Design. It's been treating me right, and I made a lot of money from this. And that's me.
All right.
Nice.
That's the idea. It's all about making money, right? That's great.
Yeah, I keep it real. This is how I survive. This is how I survive right here. This I love it. I love it.
All right, thank you, Ken. Rebecca.
Hey guys, my name is Rebecca Schlappisch-Charles. I am a violinist, co-founding member of Quartet 405. I'm also a touring musician with Mariachi El Bronx, and in Los Angeles I play with Mariachi Divas. And I mean, this past year, 2020, like so many musicians, as you can see behind me, I kind of built up my home studio, and I've been doing a lot more home recording for artists, clients, stuff like that. And, you know, that's how I've been keeping myself busy through this last crazy year we've had. But I really miss playing live with everybody, and I'm looking forward to doing that again, and definitely looking forward to playing live with my NS violin again sometime soon.
Of course. Thank you. Eliza, welcome.
I'm also a co-founding member of Quartet 405, rocking my sweatshirt today. And, you know, it has been really difficult sort of reinventing your gigs and the way you do them. I tour with Burt Bacharach and Paul Anka and Quartet 405, my girls. And, you know, I've been using, and we've been using NS for quite some time now. And it's, honestly, I've tried so many different electric violins, and this is by far my favorite that I've ever played. And yeah, it's just so versatile. And I've recently been doing some film touring stuff with it, and it's been really cool. Just exploring different sounds that you can make, and I've really been having a lot of fun with it. So,
thank you. Jason Yang, welcome.
Hey guys, I'm Jason Yang. It's great to be here. It's already been, I was counting, over 10 years now since I first started playing an NS violin, and over 10 years now since I've had the pleasure of knowing Ned and Corey and the whole team. And every year I'm excited to catch up with you guys and all the other NS artists, of course in person, but you know, for this year, this is, at least we're still getting to do it. So I'm really happy that you guys were able to organize this, and just this is awesome. So my background is originally as a touring performing violinist on acoustic and electric. I toured with Madonna and did a lot of just a lot of crazy stuff on all kinds of violins, but NS has always been my main axe of choice. And over the last 5-6 years, my focus has shifted more so to film scoring and of course still using my violins in my scores and productions, but which, you know, for this year, a lot of my world was just in here sitting at this station instead of much traveling and performing, of course, as you guys all are experiencing too. So yeah, that's been my focus as of late, and just a lot of practice actually finally, which is also a nice peaceful transition into doing that. In a lot of previous years I wasn't able to find as much time to, so at least there's that, which is a great positive.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Joseph, welcome.
Hello, guys. My name is Jozef Nadj. I'm based in Boston. I'm a contemporary / electric violinist, performing artist. I've played with many different bands. I've toured the US, Europe, and China with my band, play kind of a fusion, jazz, rock style. I'm also running a music school here with my wife. I'm also affiliated with Berklee College of Music. And I have an NXT A 5-string NS Design violin since 2017 when I met Corey at the NAMM show, and Ned also. And I mentioned this yesterday at our Educators Roundtable. I finally found the sound that I had in my head. You know, I'm kind of a pioneer with the electric thing, and going back to like mid-90s, I was always trying to find something, find a violin that is going to sound exactly what I have in my head. And, you know, tried many different things, and finally I got a hold of these guys, and I thank you for doing this, because it's just a great thing to have, and, you know, play music rather than fight the instrument. And you know, lately I just released my new record in January 1st. That's what I did in 2020. Recorded in my studio, and that's about it.
Of course. Thank you, Joseph. Luis, welcome.
Hey, how are you guys? My name is Luis Montilla, well known around like the white violin. Papa, I got my NXT 5-string violin. It's like, I've been trying different violin all my life. I trying Bakuberry, I get signed by Sera. Back on the time, I play other electric violin, but what NS design bring to me is the smoother sound. It's something I can touch people. I feel now when I got the power. I'm really happy with Corey, because Corey at the beginning put me to play different violins. And then I got this one, the 5-string, active, with my new pedal board, Boss GT1. I'm here in the studio, but I'm feeling like I'm growing. I'm happy to say that. I'm happy to say that. I'm growing with the company, because the company give me the opportunity to try this violin in different track. I'm a Latin jazz violin player. I play with Cachao, the Mambo Kings. I play with people from Fania All Star. I'm be playing a lot of Latino. I'm directing for 5-year NBC TV show called Cuánto Cuesta el Show for Telemundo, where I'm based here in LA. Now I get lucky. Everybody fighting with the COVID. I get lucky this 2020. I get signed for an important company, Reason to Rhyme Music. They signed me with doing a world-class CD. I'm so happy to do that, because I'm integrated violin in this and this opportunity with different pedal trying to put the violin sound more acoustic. But I think the violin is great because they got the opportunity, a versatility to, you can put it more electric with different pedal or more acoustic. So I'm so happy to do that with Brian Wagstaff as my producer and be recording with people like Luisito Quintero. Luisito Quintero from Chicorea record all my percussion. Is gonna be the bass player from Chicorea recording some tracks. Carlitos del Puerto, everybody well-known guy. Ali, incredible piano player from Venezuela. So it's been a lot of people in the project involved, like Marcus Rizak, blah, 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 a lot of people. But I don't want to make this too long, but I'm so happy and feel proud to be part of the company. Thank you, NS, and thank you, Ms. Steinberg, to give me the opportunity to be part of the company and play this beautiful instrument.
Well, what you're doing is so
violin.
exciting. It's so energizing to hear you talk about your projects. So
thank you.
I'm sure they're going to go well, and it's just inspiring to see all the energy that you have for your music.
Thank you. I'm be composing. I made all the arrangement for the project, but you will have one in March in the office.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
It's gonna be great. You will love it. We're gonna be finding out the incredible singers from Puerto Rico, Mexico, United States, Venezuela, and Colombia. So it's gonna be like, it's kind of supernatural from Santana. I'm gonna be in Santana Park with the NS Violin, and then they're gonna sing my song. It's kind of the project. They got the idea, you know.
Wonderful. Thank you, Luis. And we have our resident violist, Ian Zanca from the Dallas String Quartet. Would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're excited about this week?
Am I the only violist here? This is great start. Yeah, my name is Jan. I play viola in the Dallas String Quartet. Kind of started acoustic, and for the last few years, it's all electric. We're touring and playing our own shows. We originally kind of just did a 4-piece, but the show has been growing, so we have now 7, including all percussion, bass, drum, keys. And we don't use a cello. We use a bass instead of a cello. And yeah, I've been using the NS for the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years. It's been great because one of the issues, whenever you're by yourself, is solo. You can kind of play any instrument and you can fit in because they're completely different instrument. But when you're in a quartet, it was very important to get like sound that kind of matches with the other instruments, so it doesn't, especially you guys can figure out whenever it's like more of a chorus thing together. And because I used to play a different instrument, I used to have like a fish. I tried all of them, but it's always like one was sticking out. So when we were able to kind of switch everything to NS, the other 2 violins and the viola, then just for the first time kind of helped, to sound like a quartet, to simulate that. So it was great. It was very, very, very helpful. I think I have a lot of NS violas, maybe more than I should. But I tried all of them. And so, yeah, this year has been kind of interesting, like all of you guys. So we just kind of focus on recording more and also collaborating more. So we've been doing some really cool stuff. We had some guys from Pentatonics and the Rangers from Pentatonics working with them. One of the piano guys that we just about to release a really cool Latin song. If you guys, Luis, you might know him. Jesus Molina, the piano guy from Colombia. That guy is incredible. I think he does a lot of stuff for Nords and all that. So we're working on a project with him. And we just kind of tried, this was a great time to try like very different styles, to see. We did lo-fi, Latin, pop, just kind of like every genre possible. And And in the past, we used to work, to do one album, just kind of put it out there and see how it does. But we were really curious to put like individual singles from like completely different genres and kind of see the reaction of the fans. We are blessed to have a good kind of following on Spotify and Pandora and get a couple of million streams. So it's really cool to see like, what part of the world likes what style. And so it's very cool. And I'm looking forward to maybe get back to playing a little bit, but I can't say that I completely hate it being off. Like you guys, it's a great time to actually slow down and practice and try new things and learn more about producing and writing music. In a way, to be honest with you, it's like this forced reset. For me personally, in our group, it worked, because otherwise we would never stop, like it was just always from one place to another, and never enough time to really try something new. So, and then I'm sure that it's the same for you guys, but it feels like you don't feel inspired because you feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over. It's like, am I growing? Am I getting better? It all sounds the same after a while. So we're really, really, really happy to start doing some different things, work on writing our own music. We do a lot of cover stuff and we do a lot of pop and classical combined. So it's been great to kind of try new things. And now the band is kind of half of it is classical, like the strings, and then the drummer, keys, guitar, and bass. They're kind of, if you guys are familiar, like the 1 O'Clock Jazz Band from UNT, those kind of very heavy jazz guys. So it's an interesting combination between the classical and the jazz guys. So it's been fun, to experiment and try. One of my guys, I'm not sure if he's gonna be on the chat, but he uses an amazing bass from you guys, from Omni Bass, I think it's called.
Yes, thank you.
Not sure if he's gonna be here, but yeah, it's fun. It's been a lot of fun. We did a Christmas album. And we're trying to do a single every month, which is gonna be kind of difficult. But one thing that I'm learning is, like, whenever we put singles without music video, they don't do as well. And so it's getting to a point that we have to find a formula where because it gets expensive, to shoot a music video and a single and for every time, because we have like 6 singles coming out. And so we're working on like streaming that production part of it. But we've been enjoying using NS instruments, and in concerts, it works really well. And I'm glad that they're not heavy, because everything I've been trying, and they're super heavy. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
And we do have Brian Wagstaff and Ali Romero, who are piano players and producers for Luis Montilla, joining us. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. I'm going to try to keep this focused on some of the violin and our great resident viola player. Thank you, Ian, for making the time. You are far and few between, of course. I'd like to just open the floor to everybody and let us know what maybe some of your successes and maybe what some of your most difficult things were this year. I know we've been hearing a lot of our artists that have really been diving into production and engineering. Don't have to speak to that, but what did you win doing this year?
So Rebecca and I play in Quartet 405 together, as you know, and it's been challenging for sure. But we started doing this thing called a cheer up cover, where once every probably like, what was it, Rebecca, 2 weeks?
I think we released one every week for about two or 3 months.
Yeah, and so it's basically we picked a cover song that we liked, and since we couldn't all be in the same room together, we did that box thing where you're all 4 boxes on a screen, and it was 1 minute long, and we just posted them on Instagram, and just songs about being cheerful, songs about hope, and fun little just fun projects. And it really, I mean, we did a lot of them. So we kind of petered out after a while when the holidays started coming around. But it really has given us like goals, even though they were just small goals. They were still, we we made it happen for a long time. And I think it's really helped us be able to communicate as a group all the time. And we also have like longest text message thread of the century, but
we do.
but-
And I think it forced us to get creative about how to continue to create as a group, because we can't get together, and especially me, I've been very, very cautious about quarantining because I just had a baby. So we've had to get really creative about how we continue to stay creative and relevant and producing things and doing things that we love together. And we've all kind of like upped our game with our own personal recording abilities and capabilities. And thankfully, because of that, we've also been able to, get some remote recording for people, like so many musicians have over this past year. But, it really pushed us to get our studios up and running. And Danica our cellist does a lot of our arrangements. She also does the videos for us. And I've been learning a lot more about mixing and getting a really nice tone for us. And that's been, all of those challenges have really been a lot of fun things.
What is the name of your group?
Quartet 405.
So everybody, I'd love to chime in real quick, just being the outsider of this whole scenario. I come in with I'm a piano player, but that has nothing to do with this. With Montilla, as a producer and, with the NS product, the violins that you guys make are just unbelievable. The ability to capture that sound is quite remarkable. And to y'all's point about what's been going on in 2020, I think what's amazing is that a lot of us artists are in the recording studio, recording a lot of stuff. I feel like there's going to be in 2021 a music revolution of sorts, right? Because no one's able to play live. But I'm just honored to know you guys as it relates to NS and your products. I mean, they're unbelievable. When Montilla brought in this white violin, which is his nickname, his moniker, I'm like, what is that thing, And then he started playing it, and it's just the product's unbelievable. It really is. And I just I hope that that our company can help to continue to spread the word about your products, because they're really remarkable. So
Well, thank you very much. And so much has changed since I first got involved with electric violins. Must be almost 20 years ago now. Back then, there was so little acceptability for electric violin. It was sort of like nobody wanted to have anything to do with it. It was very scary, and it was also wrong. In other words, in the tradition, the classical tradition and so on, electric violin was this sort of horrible thing. But times have changed because there's so much opportunity, with evolving technology. And if you just want to put your head in the sand, I mean, that's okay. And of course, I'm an appreciator of classical music. It's not that I think that an electric violin is better than an acoustic violin, or that anyone should play this or that. But on the other hand, it's just very exciting for me to see how much electric violins have become part of the fabric of music today, and how far we've come since when I started out.
I think it's amazing.
I think
it's amazing that how you've been able to, like Elon Musk, I'm gonna go there, guy. How you've been able to take a violin and make it electric, and retain the aesthetics of the violin itself. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant, sounds like a violin. You don't need a special pickup. It's just, respect, man.
Well, thank you.
And going back to what Ian said earlier about the weight of the instrument, I mean, that was initially that's the first thing I noticed when I picked up that NS at NAMM with you guys, was like, it felt like a violin. It didn't feel like, because the first electric violin I had compared to this weighs 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things. And it sounds like a violin. It's clean sound, really sounds like a violin. It doesn't sound like you're playing in a tunnel, like a lot of instruments that I've played do. So it's really good.
Well,
I'm gonna
the
come
reason
in.
for that is that it's not that complicated, really. But the pickup system, the structure of the instrument, the pickup system is all about bringing out the full dynamics of the string. Really, a string instrument is all about the string. That's the source of the sound. You can have any kind of pickup you want, and of course you want the best pickup you can have, and pickups are different, but the source of the sound is the string. So you just want to be able to bring that full dynamic. I want to make that available to you as a performer, and then you get to work with that instead of having something that is contoured one way or the other. No, this is all about letting it all come out, and then you get to decide how you want to utilize that, how you want to EQ the sound, how you want to play the instrument. So it's really just about bringing that string to life and hearing that string, because it's all coming from the string itself. That's the tone generator. And that's the way of course, I have a very different way of looking at a musical instrument than you guys do, because it's not about something that I play. It's about a tool for you guys. And for what I do is very kind of mechanical and dry, and then you guys make the magic. It's all a wonderful symbiotic relationship that's always been very exciting for me.
I think it's very important what you just say, Papa, because if we be playing a little bit with these three buttons, we can find magic. But the best magic I never have is this. 1 minute over here, couple hours for my preamp, for my active. So I think that magic change everything. You change the future with that, mister. Yeah, I respect that. When people change for good, is what you've been doing. Change for good. The violin adjuster, this is something is magic, because everybody got different neck, obviously. So you can adjust. I like to play high, the violin. Some people like to play low. Some people play without. If you understand that, you play violin. Yes. So this adjuster is part of the magic too. So if we've been how meticulous you've been putting every little detail in the violin, you take over, because you're thinking about us. We're thinking about you, because you made the magic for us.
Don't think about it. No, please don't. This is the whole
when
point.
we play the violin,
you're not getting it. It's not about me. And I'm joking a little bit, but part of what my feeling is that if the best musical instrument or whatever disappears, becomes part of your body. It's not me, it's you. And that's the idea, that it's something that becomes integrated into everything that you do. That's what I'm hoping. So there's you don't want to feel pain on your shoulder. You just want to play. And you don't want to worry about the instrument. That's my goal, is to free you of any restriction or discomfort or impediment to your expression,
Yes.
your musical expression. That's the idea.
That way you feel more the violin is part of you.
That's the
You know,
idea.
it's part of
Yeah.
your body. It's an extension for
Well,
your body.
that's
So
the thing where you can, as a musician, you can focus on music. You don't have to, you know, focus on the instrument and fight the instrument and think about how things gonna come out. You know, as far as the sound, as far as the playability, this is all great. So you just have to focus on what you want to do, and that's music. You know, create, play, have fun, and don't worry about these things. You know.
you know, brother, how we call plug and play. No too many problems. I love that. Plug and play.
Yeah, you don't even have to look; you can just play.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I think like everything that you guys have been saying is exactly how I feel. It's, what Ned said is exactly spot on with my experience in that it's almost kind of bizarre for me, like to try to formulate into words like specific things that that help me or that I'm attached to on my NS, because ever since I picked it up for the first time like 11 or 12 years ago, I never touched any other electric violin. So even like, for example, like the things like the dynamic range, even from, I mean, you say that it's from the string as the source, but just how the build of it being able to actually have that much control, as similar to my acoustic violins as possible, from playing triple P to triple F. And the violins that I had tried before that, I just felt like that dynamic range was way more squashed, aside from even just like the sound usually sounding a lot more synthetic. But just I've always just enjoyed the responsiveness, the range of it, and especially in all kinds of live concert venues or any sort of events or anything like that. It's been my easy go-to, as not just like all the stuff about like the playability and the sound quality, all of that. It always speaks for itself. But for me, the really fascinating things are the things that aren't exactly related to that, but that I just enjoy the most when performing with it. From just the way that it's built, like the weight you guys were saying, the ergonomics of it, and just easily being able to travel with it. There's like, I mean, that's one thing that kind of I sometimes even overlook myself, with just how easily I can travel with it in the smaller case, in the smaller form factor. And you know, us musicians, instrumentalists, always kind of get extremely stressed out taking our instruments on the planes, and it's always, I just feel way more comfortable traveling with my NS violin. So yeah, aside from just the playing stuff, it's just as you guys know, the best.
Besides all that, they just really look beautiful. I mean, the first time I've come across an NS violin is many years ago. I was working for Alexei Gudesman in Europe. We were working on a Hans Zimmer soundtrack, and he came back with this instrument from LA. He always, you know, he always disappeared for like a couple weeks to Los Angeles, you know, working with Hans Zimmer people, and then coming back with some new gadgets. And he had this violin, and my first impression was just, wow, you know, this just looks like a violin, because all other electric violins or cellos, they just look like, I don't know, like something else. They don't look like an instrument to me. So this is just so beautiful, you know, and then it feels like that too, and it sounds like that. So it's way closer to a classical instrument than, you know, other companies that try to build electric, you know, violins or cellos, you know. And I'm still surprised that people play other instruments to this day. You know, when you see videos, or, you know, you go to a concert and somebody, you know, plays an electric violin, it sounds like a trumpet. And first of all, I'm thinking, who's the sound engineer? Why do they not change that? And why don't they just get an NS violin? Because it's not that hard. Yeah.
Don't even get to the sound, guys. Okay, let's just leave him out for the conversation.
Yeah.
And I do have a couple of questions, if I can ask, since it's kind of an opportunity to ask. it seems like. But first of all, it's really nice like meeting all of you guys, Jason and Luis, and seeing the quartets here. It's amazing. I'm going to follow all of you on Instagram, so hopefully we keep in touch. But I was going to ask some questions when it comes to viola. The violin is mostly like there's a certain standard, right? Size-wise, that it doesn't vary very much. It stays the same size. Well, when it comes to the viola, it's a little bit different, and it changes a lot the tone of it. So like violas can range from like 15 to like 17, right? So the bigger it is, the warmer, the deeper the sound you get on like the lower strings. Is there a way, is that coming into play anytime you work on the violas? Because that's what I'm having the hardest time with my viola. Like, it sounds great when it's close to the violins, but also because I don't have a cello in the group, the next instrument is a bass. So I'm trying to get a little bit deeper, nicer, warmer sound, but I can't get that yet. I don't know how that comes into play when you build something like that, but...
Okay, so here's the thing. When you talk about the size of a viola, it's really more about the size of the body.
Right.
But with a solid body electric violin, the size of the body is really not that significant. What really is significant is the length of the string between the bridge and the nut. That is the key thing. So a violin is some 13 inches between the bridge and the nut, and violas can range between 14 and a half and 16 and a half inch length of the string. So what's interesting is that the longer the string, the brighter the tone. With an acoustic instrument, the bigger the body, the darker the tone. So it's kind of can be confusing.
Wow.
But again, it's the longer strings of a viola allow you to have more definition in the lower notes, because lower notes get lost when they don't have any higher harmonics. Then they just sort of become muddy, right? So you want definition on the lower notes. For an acoustic viola, that extra length of the string gives you more power in the sound. But with an electric instrument, it's different, and that's why you can have a 5-string violin, the same scale length as a violin, with a C string there that is, in the viola range, which has a really warm, sweet tone. So it's kind of counterintuitive. But a smaller electric instrument is generally warmer in tone.
Well, so then what would be your advice on something like this? Because I needed to use it where I can accompany more, I can do chords, where I can meet that range in between, like all the high violins and the bass. And so like I'm not being able right now to get that kind of a little bit bigger, warmer. I don't even know how to describe it, but I think you understand what I'm saying. What can I do? I even switched. I did a 5-string with an F, but whenever the F was, the range didn't go so well, so the double stops just didn't sound. So I took that out.
But you're playing a 5-string violin?
No, I'm playing a viola.
Viola. So that's a 4-string.
4-string viola.
Right.
Is there something from the way the bridge is set, the way the bridge is set, or is there something that can be changed so I can get more power and depthness on those strings in the lower strings?
Changing the bridge, I don't think is going to do much for you. I'm not sure what to say, except that a 5-string violin with a shorter scale length might give you a warmer viola tone.
Yeah, you're right.
Something to consider.
What I have, 5-string, I'm recording a lot of orchestra with that one, and then you can help yourself using some pedal board. I use boss pitch. With the pitch, you go the octaves down, octave high. You can record 3 violins at the same time. So it's too many things you can do. But I'm using my 5-string, and my viola is very warm. When I'm playing, it's very warm. I don't understand what you say, Papa, that you tuning with F. You losing the C?
No, I was losing the E.
Okay. Okay.
F, C, G, D, A.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just, I've tried the pedals. I have 4 NS. I think I have like 8 violas, 10 maybe. It's just, this electric stimp is the journey, man. I don't know what to say. And I'm gonna tell you one more thing. Is like, I love how light it is, but I don't know, maybe because I beat it up and I play it so often, it's in and out, in and out. But that thing, for the shoulder rest, oh my gosh, I'm having issue with that all the time on all 4 of them, because they switch, they tilt, they go, and I admit I beat them up more than probably all of you guys, because I'm just continuously on the road and playing, and I don't know, maybe I'm not as careful, but maybe, Ned, I was asking, what is new coming out like on the new ones, because I'm ready to try something new.
Actually, Eon, we do have some developments in the shoulder rest,
Yes!
kind of thumb screws and stuff. So we have some improvements there. And I think the Quartet 405 girls checked some of those out last year.
Yeah, I had the issue when I first started. I didn't really it does take a minute to understand, because it's a completely different instrument. There's no other electric violin like it. So, but I did notice that there's a tiny screw. I don't know if you can see right there. Yeah. If you tighten that, then
I've been using them for 3-4 years, 5 years. I don't know how long has it been. I tighten every screw and I tighten them. Trust me, I'm familiar with all those screws that are there.
That was key for me, though. That little
that helped you. That's good.
Was good. Yeah.
I've got some new
Sorry,
parts.
what you change with the screw, Mama? I don't understand what you say. What you change with the screw?
Not changing it, just made it tighter. If you can see that.
There's a little hex set screw that you can tighten to make the clamp more even, and it won't be crooked, and it clamps tighter.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that was good.
Ken, you were demonstrating and starting to play something earlier. You wanna get some music going here?
Epa. Let's see what you guys have for sure. Come on.
Let's play, guys. Let's
play. I play, but I talk and give you my experience. I first of all, I love this instrument. A few things I love about it is the even sound. The sound, the volume on the C string is the same volume on the E string. That's one of the things I really admire about it. But this is gonna sound really weird. Nobody really mentioned this, but a lot of you, when I play, probably by the third song, I'm sweating, right? So, other violin brands that I have played and I have sweated out the circuits. Well, guess what? This is separate from that, so I can just run down, and it's not the only thing getting wet is the chin rest. So, I know it's the weirdest thing, but it worked for me. You know what I mean? So, so it's like I love that part about that. I don't have to worry about my circuits blowing out on like on other violins that I have. But man, this is matter of fact, I even named her Old Faithful, because no matter what other violin brand I've tried and went to, always end up right back here, and that's the total truth. And so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to stay here, and for probably the last 10 years this is what I've been playing, is the NS design. So thank you Ned for being on the line and doing this. So thank you, I appreciate it. Yes.
Here we go.
Myself. In my internet, did I freeze? My internet is not the best. I'm in my basement.
You're good.
Let's hear that violin, man.
Yeah.
Are you ready to play it?
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Y'all want to hear?
Bring that on. Listen. Bring it.
I don't know if y'all can hear this or not. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, we hear it.
Okay, good. Okay, that's enough. I forgot to tighten my bow, so I started breaking
Dude,
strings.
that was
That's great.
absolutely spectacularly
Let's go,
amazing,
Ken.
man. That was come
Thank
on,
you.
dude. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
True performer. You went straight in. I can see how with the sweating thing is coming, and that's only like 2 minutes here.
Now you see what I mean? So I needed something. I needed a violin, man. I can just sweat all day. I can sweat and play.
You crazy, man. You crazy.
Ken, thank you. That's the first performance we've had on our live Zoom sessions, and that was
Oh,
fire,
wow.
man. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So great,
Anytime.
despite the fact that there were glitches in it and everything, you could still get it.
Yeah, and I know that my internet sucked. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know I was gonna be doing the whole song. I would have went upstairs where the router is. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Maybe any fun effects or any like new equipment acquisitions that you found are really fun with the violin?
Man, first of all, I have been through so many, but I have settled on the Boss ME80. And that's what I was actually going through. And all I have on it is just a little chorus and a little reverb, of course. So you can hear the, but it's so many other settings. So, it's that's what I love about the NS. It doesn't matter what sound effect, what you put on it, it's the quality that is. I love it, and it just keeps its quality, and that's what's important to me.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much. I know one of the things I keep hearing that I love to hear is, Jason, you were one of the first artists I ever brought on back in 2009.
Yep.
And of course, Jonas, you working with Alexei Gudisman years ago, that I love the fact that so many NS artists have their instruments for really almost decades. And yeah, we might have to get them back at the shop to do some maintenance. Thanks, Ken. It's great that we have people who love the instrument for so long and for so many years. And it was great to see some of the basses yesterday, or we saw Caleb Ingram's cello that's over 10 years old, and man, that thing looked like it had been dragged behind a pickup truck earlier. So it's just great to see the longevity of these instruments too. So thank you for being a part of the team for so long.
That's why can I have a white one like Luis there?
Yeah.
He would not look white up for a long time.
Don't be scared of the white violin, man. That thing, you'll be surprised at the power of the white violin.
Man. I'm scared. I cannot do it. I'll let Luis do it.
I have a question.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I have a question for you, Ned. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Internet.
Okay. So when we first got the instruments, and I still use them to this day, D'Addario Helicore strings, and I love these strings. They're great. And I was just wondering, how did that partnership between NS and D'Addario happen? Like when you were choosing the strings for the instruments, what went into that?
Well, I would say that to a fair degree that the strings chose me, in the sense that there's a little bit of a story actually behind this. Many years ago, maybe 20 some odd years ago, I went to a seminar, or I'm not sure, we're a bunch of luthiers coming together to meet about instruments and, to share ideas and share our troubles, whatever it was, and there was a guy there who gave a seminar which showed all these computer modeling of different strings, because you guys make music, we make musical instruments, so we got all of this stuff, you know, that we're into about how the sound is generated and so on, and the movement of the strings and the top of an instrument, and what is the difference between an electric and acoustic response, and all this stuff is so very fascinating for me and for many others. And so these people had this really fancy computer modeling and had all this data that they didn't understand. So they were very honest about it. They said, you know, we learned all this stuff, but we really don't know why it does this and why the string is doing that. And this guy raised his hand, this old guy, and said, well, I think I can explain that. His name was Norman Pickering, and you guys are probably too young to remember the Pickering cartridge for phonograph records, okay? But that was the standard for a needle on a cartridge for, you know, for a vinyl record. This guy invented it, okay? And he was also a violist, a very high-level violist, played with the CBS orchestra and this kind of thing, and also did all kinds of work. I'm going too long on this, but suffice to say, he's became a mentor of mine because he explained exactly what that string was doing. I said, I got to meet this guy. This guy knows what he's talking about. And he was the one who invented the helicore string for D'Addario. And I learned so much from Norman Pickering about how to make a violin, which all of you are benefiting from. So you should all be grateful to Norman Pickering. And he's the one who really connected me up with D'Addario, and we do all kinds of stuff together, you know, with developing gizmos for musicians, you know, tuning, electronic tuners and capos and this type of thing. So we have a very close connection, and the D'Addario company is just a wonderful company that makes fabulous strings for all kinds of instruments, and we're very lucky to have their, you know, to be working with them. I'm glad you're enjoying the strings.
The helicore string was the first, at least to my knowledge, it was the first. Their C string was the first C string that was specifically created for a 5-string violin, because before that you just used a viola C string.
Right. Yep.
So that was really groundbreaking, actually.
These guys are serious, very serious about strings for all kinds of instruments. And, you know, they are more scientific about the way they make. That was the thing about Norman. He was a scientist as well as a violist. You know, so someone who brought another dimension to the development of the strings, and I think he did some great work. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but may he rest in peace.
Eliza, I think that your violin's amazing. Like, can we hear a little bit of it?
I don't have a studio.
Like a thing that you play. Right, you gotta have a bow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same one as Ken was playing though, so
yeah,
it's pretty close to that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear you guys. I would love to hear you guys. Some of you guys play the violin.
They had a video premiere earlier today, and we do have we do have Brian and Luis coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, I think. So they're premiering one of their videos. What a great combination they are. I just wanted to circle back to the strings really quickly. That Eon, you were asking about a fuller sound, and I was wondering, D'Addario does make octave strings for the violin.
Oh wow!
And that might be something to try out. It's been much more common lately, and I've been getting a lot of requests from artists wanting to know about the model and stuff, because I think it's a fun thing for violin players to have that lower octave into the cello.
Cool. Yeah,
I was just about to talk about that one.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, because I mean the strings are thicker. As I mean, I guess before I looked at them, I didn't have any preconception of. I was just like, oh, like it says on it that they would drop the octave down per string. but then yeah, they are quite a bit thicker. So like I wasn't as used to that, especially when I'm trying to be all versatile on the E string. But it works great. It's really cool. So I only had maybe like 2 or 3 sets of it, so I haven't gotten to do that much with it, because I actually can't remember exactly when they had come out with it. But yeah, I was going to recommend that to your question.
That's
So
cool.
they sound an octave lower than the regular violin?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I
Which is
wanted
one
to
of the
thank
neat things
everybody.
about an electric instrument is that you can, with an acoustic instrument with a really short string like that, forget it. But with an electric instrument, it actually takes on a whole nother dimension. It has that really deep, low sound. Those strings, those short, fat strings have a very cool sound.
Well, I wanted to thank everybody, and we really appreciate all your support over the years. Obviously, some of you decades or more than a decade. And thank you for your beautiful music, Ken. It was so great to hear you play, and
Thank you.
threw some life into us on day 2 of Connect 2021 here.
Yes, the
Going
name of that
dancing
song
now,
was
man.
Get
Let's
Busy.
go
Time to
dancing.
get busy. Thank you.
Corey,
thank you
Corey,
yeah.
just one more thing. I'd like to have the email addresses to stay in touch if you don't mind. Maybe if put like a group email.
Sure thing.
In the
Is
chat.
it fine with everyone if I share your email and do a nice thank you to everybody together?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
We have to protect everybody's privacy. I know that.
And I want to follow everyone on social media as well, for sure.
Yes, for me, guys. Yes, for
Already
me.
got it.
Well, it's wonderful to have a chance to hang with you guys for a little bit. Thank you for all joining in, and let's do this again before too long.
Sounds good.
Yep. Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.